Hi, I'm Jill. I'm a CSU trained master gardener in Jefferson County, and today I'd like to talk to you about some gear you may need as a beginner beekeeper, including a hive. This style of hive is called a Langstroth hive, and this is my hive from home. And what I'd like to do is take it apart and look at its different components. So first we have the bottom of the hive, which is called the bottom board, and this is a screened bottom board. And it's open so that ventilation can get through the hive and keep condensation from settling in there. And also the screen helps so that varroa mites, which are pests to bees, can fall through the screen but not crawl back up. And then we have an entrance reducer, and this has little doorways. This is a bigger doorway and the smallest doorway, and it sits at the entrance. And when the hive is smaller and weaker, you're going to use a small entrance, and as it gets bigger and as the weather gets warmer, you're going to add more ventilation until you remove it completely. And next we're going to look at one of the deeps. So here we have what's called the deep hive box. It's called a deep because it's about 8 or 9 inches deep. And you start with one, and as the hive grows, you add the second. This is also called the brood chamber. It's where the bees raise their young and also store food. It's their home. Inside each of these hives, you have 10 frames. And the frame has a plastic foundation, this black foundation. Sometimes they're yellow, they can be different colors. And what the bees do is build comb on either side of these foundations. And this is a frame with built-out comb on it. Next, we'll look at a honey super. This smaller box, about 6 inches deep, is called a honey super. It's called a super because it sits above the brood chamber. And it also holds 10 frames, which are 6 inches long. This is the area where the beekeeper can generally harvest honey. So this is where the bees store surplus honey. Okay, next is something called the inner lid. It's lightweight wood, and it has an oblong hole. Bees can travel through this hole, ventilation, and also you can feed bees sugar water through this hole. It goes on top. And then last but not least is the outer lid, also called a telescoping lid because it's bigger than this box. And it is covered with metal so that it is weatherproofs the hive, and just fits right on top. And then I usually put a big rock on top so that the wind doesn't blow any of this over or blow this off. And that's your Langstroth hive.